How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for having us here. We're excited to be part of Entrepreneurial Day. We are also we're more than excited to have the opportunity to present you with our business concept and our company. So we're going to change gears a little bit. We're not going to talk about pregnant Turkish cows or operative informatics and intelligence. We're HealthEworks, and we're the company that's here to optimize and to customize emergency health education. So my name is Dr. David Matheson. I'm an MBA student here at GW. This is Dr. Christina Johns and Dr. Mo Nejad. We're all actually emergency physicians here at GW and part of the faculty that teach at the medical school. Of course, you might not recognize us because we're not in our normal attire today. I know Mo won the coin toss of who got to be George Clooney. But I think a lot of people equate emergency physicians with the show ER because that's sort of what they know. And while it's dramatic, it does represent sort of the chaotic environment that we work in, a chaotic environment that's sort of prime for an improved efficiency model we're going to talk a little bit about today. So what our product is we want to create video information prescriptions for emergency department discharge. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about what that means, but the basic concept is we're going to take sort of the old approach where you go to an emergency room and someone hands you a piece of paper and says, you have gastroenteritis, which is the stomach flu, and this is what you should do. And we're going to transform that into a 21st century approach.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christina Johns, and this is your video prescription. I'm sorry that you've been sick recently and had to go to the emergency department, but this is your roadmap to recovery.
So we're going to sell a service to hospitals where we provide this video content and we also provide the connectivity. So as soon as you leave the emergency room, you receive that email with that video prescription based specifically on what your diagnosis was. It was just given to you by an emergency room physician. So this is what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to outline the problem. I'm going to tell you what it's like to be in an emergency room. And we're going to talk about the product and how it solves that problem. We're going to talk a little bit about the industry and the market, how we're going to sell and market this, why our team is the perfect team to do it, our financial structure, how our timeline works, and our growth potential. And then I'm going to summarize at the end, and we'll leave room for questions. So how many people here have been to an emergency department in your life, whether for a friend or family member? I know it's not somewhere that anyone wants to go to, but the reality is it's a key component of our health system, and it's sometimes a place that we have to go. And we're certainly not alone. This is a number of annual emergency room visits. 120 million people last year visited a U.S. emergency room, and these numbers keep going up. It's a 26% increase over the past 10 years. And it's not a surprise. This was the cover of the U.S. News & World Report almost 10 years ago. So we knew these ERs are in crisis. They're more overcrowded. There's problems. Medicine's becoming more complex. Insurance problems with primary care doctors. So we know that more and more people are visiting the emergency room. Yet, what we face is the product. The ERs are becoming more crowded. It's a more difficult place to treat and to diagnose patients. We have to put patients on stretchers because there aren't rooms. Ambulances have to get diverted to other hospitals because the ERs are full. And it creates this chaotic environment. And it's not the best place to tell somebody that you have cholecystitis. Patients come in a sort of a fragile state where they're in pain, and we give diagnoses on big words, on things you've never heard of before. You have vestibular neuritis. You have tinea capitis. And the problem is that this is my office. This is where I go to work. This is where we go to work.
Yeah. Ha!
And you're like, stop the sound clip. This is where we would go to work, and it's just not the optimal place to provide health education. It's not optimal for us to teach or for a patient to really learn that information. So I'm going to pass this to Dr. Johns. She's going to tell you a little more.
Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody for all your support and advice. We are just thrilled that a bunch of nerdy doctors made it up to the finals. So thanks so much. Working in an ER is stressful. Coming to the ER is stressful. And you want to leave there feeling like, hey, I'm better. I'm in the right direction. And yet what we do is we take what took us over a decade to learn after college, try to distill it down to one piece of paper. That's what you get going home. I find it on the floor. People lose it. People call me back because they don't understand what it means. Are we really doing it the right way? Somebody recently told me that, hey, these discharge documents are vaguely reminiscent of the terms and conditions paper to my credit card statement. We all know how compelling those are, right? So, wow, are we really doing this the best way? When patients don't understand, they come back. We have a problem, a gap in our information delivery. In addition, paper discharge products, they're eco-unfriendly. Here at GW, our children's hospital uses over 1 million pieces of paper annually, just in discharge papers alone, to the tune of about $35,000. Additionally, the reading level is a big issue for us. You've got to be able to target all of your discharge education and teaching at a reading level where people understand. And the overwhelming majority of our population, and in most emergency departments, is really somewhere in the kind of 5th to 9th grade level. In addition, we also have an increasing number of patients whose first language is not English, and so we need to be able to adequately address their health needs and understanding as well. So another way that the written word may not be exclusively the best. So what I hear is I get the call back, Dr. Johns, I got these papers that you sent home with me, and I went on the internet and I found 1,600,000 hits for my particular diagnosis. And it's always a tricky one for them and for me because it's information, a lot of information overload. Some of it is great, some of it is not. It's not always reliable, frequently contradictory to what their particular physician has told them. And so it can be quite tricky. What we do know is that patients really trust physicians the most in delivering their health education. And so who better to give it than a video from a doctor? What we think happens here is we call it the health information divide, where you have your doctor who wants to impart customized, tailored info to you about your health and what you ought to do to get back to that health or maintain that health. And then you have the patient with all of these different avenues to go. They get some info from the doctor, some info from the web, their neighbor, etc. HealthEworks seeks to bridge that divide. What we propose to offer when a hospital buys our product, we will provide them with the ability to send an email like this. You come home from the emergency department and you get an email with a link that you can click to go right to a video that will help explain what your specific instructions are. We have the ability to include the primary doctor to maintain the link to the medical home, other discharge documents, as well as multiple diagnoses. So all of this can be linked together. Our initial catalog, we want to start out with about 200 discharge diagnoses in English, Spanish, and French, which will provide customized information from the doctor to the patient.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Dr. Christina Johns et aujourd'hui je voudrais vous présenter votre prescription vidéo.
We want to have instant connectivity where you can watch on any mobile device, unlimited access. When you're in the CVS waiting for you to pick up your prescription, you can pull out your iPhone, your BlackBerry, whatever you have, and watch what you need to do again and again. No lost papers. What we want to feature are procedural demonstrations, anatomical graphics, so you will know which part of the body we are referring to when we talk about cholecystitis. We'll give some bullet points of what we want to do and summaries for your big take-home big take-home message.
I'm going to take just about a teaspoonful, or 3 to 5 cc's, and give it to your child just like that. Repeat this about every 10 minutes or so until your child is starting to take it without any problem.
HealthEworks seeks to show and tell, not just tell. What I want to do now is turn the clicker over here to Dr. Mosaddinejad, who's going to talk about the benefits of HealthEworks.
Thank you very much, Christina. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here and present this wonderful product to all of you. We believe that the video information prescription is a win-win scenario for all parties involved. We feel that the hospitals are going to benefit because this will give them access to a product that is far better than anything that they currently possess. It allows them to improve the services that they offer to their patients, and that in turn causes an improved health quality. Most importantly, what it will do is takes the burden of having to provide patient education in a very busy and hectic emergency department where the attention spans are very low. It transitions this information out of the hospital into the patient's home onto their wireless devices and all their toys and gadgets that they have. This allows for a much better efficiency in the emergency department function. We also feel that the patients are going to benefit a great deal. They're going to have an optimized home care. They can review this video as many times as they wish at home. The caregiver can look at the video several times and then be able to provide the best care that they can to the sick patient in the house. It also provides them reassurance that they're getting reliable information that's coming from emergency physicians that have basically just finished treating them and has given them specific tailored instruction just for their specific illness for which they have come to the emergency department. This also has a great impact on the economy. This will allow patients to have a maximum understanding and retention of the information that we're trying to convey to them. As a result, they don't come back unnecessarily to the ER because they misunderstood some of the instructions, because they had wrong expectations of what the recovery process was going to be like. This prevention of the return visits to the emergency department can save a tremendous amount of healthcare dollars. Speaking of healthcare dollars, an industry analysis shows, and this is no surprise, that the U.S. spends more money on healthcare than any country on the face of the earth, and we spend a greater percentage of our GDP compared to any country in the world, and this just seems to be a trend that's continuing to rise. This video information prescription that we are proposing is now. This is the kind of product that is in line with the current thinking. Over the last couple of years, the government has recognized the need for having this kind of a technologically advanced method of communication and be able to utilize that in healthcare. About $19 billion in incentives alone have been for health information technology as of the 2009 American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. This is the current cover of Time magazine talking about this right now. The problem is we in the healthcare business are a little bit behind the rest of the industries when it comes to technology. Only about 1.5% of more than 5,000 hospitals in this country actually have a completed electronic health record as of 2008. The expectations are that all of these hospitals over the next 5 years are going to go fully electronic. This provides a large gap between where we are now and where we're hoping to be in like 5 years. And because of this expected growth, we feel that our product is in a prime position to enter the market at this time. We know that this is the right time for technology. We know that our product benefits the hospital, it benefits the patient, it's great for the economy. But the question was, are our patients really ready for this kind of transformation at this time? So we decided to take a two-tier approach to marketing research. We just recently completed a survey of 509 families that came to our children's emergency department at GW Children's Hospital here in DC. We asked them about internet access, utilization, and communication electronically. We were surprised to find out almost all the patients had internet access and used the internet regularly. And also they had email. Most importantly, more than 90% of the patients we surveyed said that they would actually like to receive electronic communication. So the question is, since they're interested in receiving communication, will they want our product? So the next part of the research right now going on is that we're piloting a few of these videos basically for gastroenteritis, as they were saying, the stomach flu, vomiting, diarrhea. And we are in the very initial stages. The initial results appear to be very promising, though. I'm going to pass it on to Dave to tell you more about our product.
So what's out there now? This is just a quick discussion of the market analysis. I mean, there's certainly some companies that provide some discharge education information. Some of you have some handouts. I think at the bottom it says it's written by Exit Care, which is one of the companies. These companies all provide information for patients for discharge. None of them provide them video, animated, electronic, vivid, graphic. This is what they provide. This is their product. And some of them are a little outdated because these aren't really equipped to handle some of the technological features of the electronic health record. These are more on standalone PCs that sit in the corner of the emergency room. There's a lot of people that make video medical education, but no one makes it for the discharge process. No one makes it specific for emergency department use. This is a concept that's never been done in an emergency department because nobody has the time to do it there. And we want to take it out of the emergency department and do it at home. So where we want to position our product, this y-axis is sort of the quality of these health products. How vivid is it? How graphic is it? How well will patients understand it? And then on the x-axis here is sort of the integration with the emergency department health information technology. And we want to be the only people that are doing both. So our sales approach, we have a two-step sales approach. First is sort of a direct approach. This is our phase one, and we're going to basically sell a hospital subscription, a catalog of our video information to hospitals. And this is an annual charge of $7,500 and $9,500 based on emergency department volumes. And that equates down to only about 9 cents a patient, which is about the price of a Band-Aid. Our initial product will be a pediatric emergency focus. And as we build this product, we're going to expand all our discharge diagnoses to include a complete catalog that includes adult and geriatric diagnoses. We're going to update our catalog with changes in the medical literature, and we're going to offer complete integration with each hospital's electronic health record and offer technical support with that integration. So our target clients are key players in this, are chief information officers, ED business managers, ED division chiefs. These are the players that make decisions on what technologies to incorporate into the hospital. We're going to be sort of the initial sales force to start getting this going, build credibility, and make a foundation for our product. We're going to do face-to-face sales demonstrations, and we're going to do booths at national meetings. This is an example. This is our website. This is HealthEworks.com that is under construction and not yet public, but it's mostly for sales. We're going to show demonstrations of our product, what we can do, and some news and information about our product. Phase two sales approach, once we show that our product is out there, that people want it, that people use it, that it's effective, we're not going to go to the 5,000 U.S. hospitals and sell this individually. We want to team with some of the providers that are providing all these electronic health records. And every hospital is a little different. Every hospital is customized to one of these products. We're going to team with these different companies to try to have them sell our product with their electronic health record. And I sort of equate this to when you buy a computer online. You go to buy a Dell computer, and when you're checking out, it says, do you want to buy a Logitech mouse that goes with it? Because Logitech makes great mice, and we want to be that product. So when they sell for $50 million to a hospital their complete electronic health record, we want them to say, do you want to sell HealthEworks as part of the discharge process? And I think they're going to say yes. For $5,000 relative to $50 million. So why is our management team the optimal team to do this? So I'm the MBA student here, and I'm going to be in charge of strategy, business organization, web development. I was a healthcare consultant prior to going into medicine and going into emergency medicine. Dr. Christina Johns, you probably recognize from her many spots on television because she's an expert at delivering health information on camera. And she's appeared on just about every national and local broadcast, including CNN and Good Morning America and Discovery News. And she's also a graduate and alumna here at GW, where she received her master's in education just a few years ago. Dr. Mo Saidinejad is our Chief Technical Officer, and he really has expertise in the health information system. Some of the technical features of media and communications are really his interest. We have a board of advisors. We have people that help with informatics, web development, some of the legal aspects, and then it's really headed by Joe Becker, who's the husband of Christina Johns, and is really kind of overseeing our videography. He's the Emmy-nominated director of The West Wing. He also owns a production company here in the D.C. area. He's going to oversee our video production to make sure that we have a top-notch product. So where are we now? So we have a trademarked name and logo. I showed you a website that's under construction. We have a management and advisor team that's in place. We've done some research and development, and we're continuing to do that with our product. And this is our financial structure and where we see it going. So what we estimate is our initial cost to build this product to get it functional for sales is about $33,000. The majority of this is in video filming and editing, and I can tell you this price is much reduced thanks to the help of Joe Becker, and we do have some equipment and some production facilities already in place. We're going to contribute about $3,000 of our own money initially, and we're hoping for $20,000 from GW to help build this initial cost. What this will do is this will put us in a position where we can build our product. So this is year zero. We're asking that's the additional funding there. At this point, we would register our company, obtain the complete patent, build our video catalog, complete our web construction. We estimate it would take about 6 months to complete that web construction. At that point, we'd begin our direct sales with our electronic health integration. We expect revenue stream to start around the end of year one. At that point, we'd be looking for more capital investment. And at this point, we're looking for somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000. That would pay part of our salaries. It would allow us to expand our video catalog, give us more sales support, and get a complete patent. At that point, we'd do our indirect sales, and we'd expect exponential revenue growth at year 2 and beyond. So there's certainly other potential with this product. We've talked a lot about the emergency room because it's our area of expertise. This is something that can be used in outpatient surgery. This is something that can be used in urgent care clinics. This is something that can be used worldwide. And I've focused a lot just in the United States, but it certainly applies worldwide. So in summary, we are HealthEworks. We want to customize and optimize video information for... Thank you.
Okay, judges, questions?
Sorry, I have one about the potential privacy issue. If you're going to distribute this stuff on email, is there a concern that that makes diagnosis of a patient's condition available to other people than the patient themselves?
Definitely. That's probably our biggest risk, and that's why we've involved legal consultants in this process. It's something that we deal with in healthcare entirely, and it's the same process when we hand out written information. The patients can take that and leave it on the floor and make that available. So what we do is we actually confirm a patient's email address with a patient or a family member and make sure they want to receive this information at time of discharge. They sign a disclosure statement, which they do ordinarily at time of discharge. And there's also a statement in the email that says, if this is not the intended provider or person that's receiving this, please disregard this information. And that sort of covers us from some of the legal.
Have you ever considered the possibility of spam, that is, false messages looking like you being delivered to a patient?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I think about that. I just that would be a concern.
Real
Yeah.
concern. Sure. Duly noted.
So you did not show a revenue forecast, right? I forgot what it was, like $7,500 to $9,500 per hospital. Is it the math is like $10K per hospital times 5,000 ERs? Is that?
If we were to sell to every emergency room in the country,
that would
yes.
be the total market size?
That would be the total market size. Which is somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 million a year annually. And that's just an emergency room. Certainly we could expand this to other product areas. I think outpatient surgery actually lends very well to a product like this.
But I think the nice thing about this product is that really there's no ceiling on this. There's where you can get into anticipatory guidance and wellness and regular emails from primary care providers about your child's milestones, your checking your blood pressure and your glucose, screenings for mammogram, that kind of thing. I think the sky's the limit on this.
Question?
Yeah, Health IT has been very slow to get going for a variety of reasons. I mean, the American Recovery Act is just an attempt to jumpstart it. Maybe 10 years too late. Why? And what, I mean, there's even electronic prescriptions and it's electronic and everything. Why would anybody, why is this going to take off as compared to and move fast within the first year as opposed to any of the other things that under the American Recovery Act or just in general?
I mean, this is a small step for hospitals. It's a nominal charge to them. In that American Recovery Act, Obama said that he wants every single hospital in this country to have an electronic health record by 2014.
Right, but why would anybody pick this up? And a hospital is so far behind in this issue. How is this going to pick up as opposed to something else? What the technological investment in? There's been also like a lot of barriers in general to pick up health IT stuff.
I think that one of the things that is really the selling point here, and certainly in my experience, as I get the number of calls to re-explain, what was on that piece of paper. Sure, if I had in my emergency department 3 patients in a 6-hour period, everybody could go home with that piece of paper and they would know what to do, how to do it, and when. But I think what's different about this product is that this is something where you're going to see me explaining how you're going to refeed your kid who has the stomach flu again and again and again. You're going to get language that you totally understand, and you're going to get a visual that you can link to that. And I think that's different. I think it's different. It's way better. People want to see you teach them something. They don't want to read some vague, abstract, I don't know what. So I think this really is different and better.
The other thing I would add to that was that the technology for an everyday person in the United States has grown significantly over the past couple of years. We pretty much feel at this point that every one of our patients will have access to this technology. So this is going to be actually useful for the patients who are going to leave the emergency department. And we're going to be able to establish that they have better understanding of the information they receive because it was explained to them in a video format. And then the rates of return visits within 48 hours for similar reasons why they came the first time. And once we're able to say that, look, the patients are actually buying into it, patients are actually using it, the hospital will realize that this is a product that is going to be different from anything they've had before because people are actually using it. It's just eventually the consumer that's going to be driving this.
Do you see any potential for increased liability or concern about liability if you have a physician now on video describing a condition, and if it's not a perfect description, given the litigious nature of our society today, particularly in medicine?
Against that physician or against the company?
Well, either or both.
I mean, I would personally think it's no different than our current discharge process. I mean, people could sue Exit Care that we gave you information on abdominal pain, and you told me to come back when this is. So I think it's the same as the current system as far as liability. I don't think the liability is changing.
And also, we're not giving this information to a patient and saying or suggesting that they can share it with any other patient that may have similar symptoms. So we are intending this based on our evaluation and diagnosis, this information to be for this particular patient. For example, if it's belly pain, all belly pains aren't created equal. We're not putting a title of just says belly pain and go and show it to anybody else who may have that. So we are actually making it clear that this is intended only for this patient, and we have plenty of different at this time. Exactly,
Right.
Same patient may come with a exactly.
So does that mean that you have to be integrated into? I mean, what triggers the release of the video? Is it classification that you, as a doctor, put in automatically into the HIT system?
Correct. Every chart has.
So you don't actually have to do any more work.
Correct. It would be a patch that's integrated into the electronic health record. Every patient has a discharge diagnosis. It's used for billing. It's given an ICD-9 code, and we would just correlate each one of those codes with one of our videos.
Okay.
The treating physician will use their discretion which of the videos they're going to attach at the time that they discharge the patient.
Right.
So they have their library at their disposal, the same fashion that it's being done now. We choose one of the instructions and put it onto the other side where it prints. So now instead it's going to be a selected video. It's at the discretion of the physician at the time of discharge.
I just have one quick question. Is what you're doing considered practicing medicine when you dispense the advice? And is that an issue across state lines or in?
All we're providing is a reference, and it actually will have a physician's name on, like this information we typically hand it out. It has the prescribing physician's name on it. We're not telling any patient that they had thrombocytopenia. That's what their physician who saw them. We're just providing education on that material. So I think it is very different.
I mean, you think that, but is that the decision that others would make as well, that it's not practicing medicine?
That's our understanding. We're relaying general information and routine, what we would, any patient with thrombocytopenia, who we would give these discharge instructions to, any patient. And then the caveat in the email, your doctor, in our videos say, your physician has diagnosed you with thrombocytopenia. These instructions are for what to do when you have thrombocytopenia. And so it's connected and linked, but based on what their physician, individual physician, has diagnosed them with.
I would say the legality and the liability isn't different than the current system. We're providing
Fair.
better functionality by getting it to patients in a newer, more updated way by providing connectivity, and we're providing a video content, which is an improved way to communicate health education.
I'm afraid we're out of time, but thank you very much.
Thank you.